afternoon, everyone. My name is Carrie Campbell, and I am here to talk to you about an emergency savings account. Do any of you all have an emergency savings account? Good. Good to see. Some of you do. Have you ever had an emergency come up where you needed money but did not have the funds available to cover the emergency? Okay, a couple of you did. So how did you cover that? Some of you would have used credit cards, things to this effect. So the point in having an emergency fund is so that you do not have to put the emergency on a credit card or borrow money from a financial institution or even borrow money from a family member or a friend. Excuse me, I have a couple of facts here. According to the UPI business in June of 2014, 2/3 of Americans have no emergency fund savings accounts. And of those who were surveyed for that, 67% of them have less than 6 months of living expenses saved. According to Money Crashers, they talked about having 2 different types of emergency savings accounts, one being a short-term and the other being a long-term. The short-term is for the funds that you can have immediate access to. So if the car breaks down, you have money to fix the car. Or in the event that you couldn't get to your long-term, the short-term can get you until you can get to those long-term funds. Long-term funds are meant to be used for job loss or natural disasters such as a tornado or in Oklahoma, or tornadoes or earthquakes, excuse me. Another one that I found some interesting information on was LearnVest. They did a survey and it said that 31% of people surveyed have credit card debt that is keeping them from reaching their goal of being able to provide money into their emergency savings fund account to be able to fully fund that. To be able to fully fund that, you want to have 6 months of living expenses in an emergency fund account. And on average of those 31%, they had an average of remaining still about $5,000 to pay off in credit card debt. The last one I have is a survey that was done by The Street. It was at the end of 2012, and it was for the going into 2013. The goal for that year was 1 in 5 Americans had planned to start saving for their emergency fund. So why is an emergency fund important to me? It is important to me because back in 2007, I worked for a credit union that provided Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. That allowed me to go through the course. That allowed me to start preparing for all of the steps that Dave Ramsey has. It's a 13-week course if you've never heard of it, and I'll have some additional information about that in a moment. By having gone through the course, again, it allowed me to prepare for my short-term savings account. It also allowed me to prepare to start paying off any credit card debt, and then it also allowed me to start building towards my long-term savings account. And that was a benefit for me and my family as well in 2010 because I lost my job. By losing my job and having that long-term savings account, I was allowed the benefit of taking my time to look for a new job and not having to jump into the first thing that came available to me just because I needed to have a job. Excuse me. And the last thing that I wanted everyone to know about was that you can start saving now for an emergency savings account. It can be as little as a couple of dollars a paycheck. It's best to go through your budget and figure out what all information you're going to need in your budget. So you need, your basics, your rent, your house payment, car payments. Go through all of your budget and then figure out how much you can put back into savings each paycheck. Whether that be you skip a couple of coffees a week to be able to put that money in, there's ways to do that. Excuse me. The information I spoke about just a moment ago in regards to Dave Ramsey, you'll want to visit his website. It's daveramsey.com. He references the Financial Peace University that I spoke about. It also gives you the opportunity to sign up for a free email that they will send it to you, and it's a financial tip that they send you. And the last thing I want you to remember to save now so you don't have to borrow later. Thank you all very much.